On July 1st, 1999, the frame of the ice bag, which contains the mechanical section, was delivered to our shop in Farmingdale, New York, located on Long Island. The bag, the electric blowers, and the cap remained at the museum. We started the refurbishing immediately. After 44 days, the project was completed with new microprocessors, solid-state relays, and digital timers. This is the new digital timer. We're going to turn it on and let it run through its paces. We're going to speed up the video to double time so that you get a better idea of how it runs. The fan on the lower right turns on to simulate the blowers that blow up the bag. You can see the unit rotating in the clockwise direction. And as it rotates, you can see the arm lifting up, which lifts the cap. And as the cap is lifted, you can see it's flattening out now. There's a motor at the top there that controls whether the cap is flat or tilted. It's almost flat, so it's reached its apex, and now it's coming down. Now the fans turn off. And as it comes down, you can see the cap is now tilting. It's almost reached the bottom of its throw. And these are the motors that control the lifting of the cap and the rotation of the artwork. This cam rotates as the artwork moves. There are little screws on the cam that hit micro switches. The micro switches send signals to the microprocessor to tell the unit to flatten the cap, tilt the cap, turn on motors, advance counters. There's a little electromechanical counter that counts how many times the artwork has run. These are wiring harnesses that go to switches and motors. This is the microprocessor board. There's a couple of PIC microprocessors that have been programmed to control the rotation of the cap, and there's another processor that controls turning on the fans, tilting the cap. There's a couple of voltage regulators at the top left, a couple of transistors that control relays that control the motors. These are relays that control power going to the motors, and there are solid-state relays that actually sends the power to the motors. This is the original relay board that controlled the different fans and motors. Most of the contacts are burnt. That's a state-changing relay. This is a gear that's been modified for the cap. We have to replace that. This is the original timer. It was two timers. One was set how long you wanted the unit to run for, 30, 40 minutes, and how long you wanted to rest for. They could set it for 5, 10, 20 minutes. They had to set it exactly so that the unit would finish in the flat position. Our microprocessor controls that. This is the new digital timer that we use to replace that. It could be set for different days of the week, different amounts of time, to rest on weekends, run on weekends, however they wanted to program it. Let's run it through its paces. You can see that one of the relays is turned on by the red LED. Now the green LED is going to come on. That sends power to the motors. Now the unit is rotating. It sent power to the rotation motor. The unit ran so slowly. And it's finally going back to the warehouse of the Whitney Museum. And And now we're at the warehouse. That's me, in dire need of a haircut. We're assembling the wiring harness for the blowers. There's Ralph assisting me. And the blowers go all around the entire unit. Those are deflectors that deflects the air, so it blows up the bag evenly. And the metal sheathing goes around the artwork. All the air deflectors are in place now, and now we're putting on the steel cover to protect the bag from the mechanism as it rotates so it doesn't get tangled up in it. There's the bag, and the bag gets draped over the unit and gets installed. Yeah, we're installing it on top of it. Have to be very careful that the unit doesn't get scratched. Okay, now we're testing it. All the blowers are turning on. You can see the bag expanding. The fiberglass cap isn't on yet. That won't get installed until it gets sent to a museum.